The Enchanted Orchard, Snow White's discovery. The sun had just begun to set behind the tall trees of the enchanted forest, casting golden hues over the land. Snow White stood on the balcony of her castle, gazing at the endless greenery beyond the castle walls. Birds chirped in harmony, and the cool autumn breeze carried with it a mysterious whisper. Snow White, now a kind and beloved queen, had ruled peacefully for years. But something about tonight felt different. A soft hum lingered in the wind, a sound she had never heard before. It was as if the forest itself was calling her. "Perhaps it's just the breeze," she murmured, turning back to the castle. But as she stepped away, the wind carried words that sent chills down her spine. "Find the orchard, ... the secret awaits, ... Snow White gasped. She turned quickly, but the forest stood still. The whisper had vanished, her heart pounded. The mystical Enchanted Orchard, a place of forgotten magic, had long been a myth among villagers. Could it be real? Determined, she summoned her 7 dwarfs, who were now her most trusted advisors. The dwarfs exchanged nervous glances. Doc, the wisest among them, stepped forward. "My queen," he said solemnly. "Long ago, it was said that beyond the river, past the willow trees, there lies an orchard filled with trees that bear fruit of untold power." But what? Snow White pressed, intrigued. "The orchard vanished centuries ago. Some say it was hidden by magic to protect its secrets from falling into the wrong hands." The dwarfs exchanged nervous glances. Doc, the wisest among them, stepped forward. "My queen," he said solemnly. "Long ago, it was said that beyond the river, past the willow trees, there lies an orchard filled with trees that bear fruit of untold power." But what? Snow White pressed, intrigued. "The orchard vanished centuries ago. Some say it was hidden by magic to protect its secrets from falling into the wrong hands." Snow White and the dwarfs had been walking for hours, guided by the soft glow of fireflies and the faint whispers of the wind. The deeper they went, the more otherworldly the forest became. The trees shimmered faintly, their leaves tinged with silver, and the air hummed with magic. Suddenly, they reached a stone archway covered in vines. Beyond it lay a breathtaking sight, a hidden orchard unlike any they had ever seen. Trees glowed with golden apples, silver pears, and violet plums. Each fruit sparkled, as if kissed by the stars. "We found it," Snow White whispered in awe. Just as they stepped inside, the ground trembled. A figure appeared from the shadows, an elderly woman cloaked in robes of deep green, her staff adorned with vines and glowing runes. "Who dares enter the Enchanted Orchard?" her voice echoed. Snow White stepped forward, her heart steady but respectful. "My name is Snow White, queen of this land. I was led here by the whispers of the wind. I mean no harm." The woman studied her for a long moment, then smiled. "You are brave, child. The orchard has been hidden for centuries, awaiting the right soul to uncover its truth." Snow White glanced at the trees. "Is it true that these fruits hold power?" The woman nodded. "These trees were planted by the first sorcerers of the land, enchanted to grow fruit that grants wisdom, strength, and even glimpses of the future. But such magic must only be used by those with pure hearts." Snow White's eyes widened. "And if they fall into the wrong hands?" The woman's face darkened. Then the balance of magic could be broken forever. A sudden rustling in the trees made them all turn. From the shadows, a dark figure in a hooded cloak emerged. His eyes gleamed with greed as he smirked. Well, the legend was true after all. Snow White's heart pounded. She knew that voice. Lord Malakar, a sorcerer known for his lust for power. I've searched for this orchard my entire life, Malakar sneered. And now it shall be mine. The guardian raised her staff, but Malakar was faster. He thrust his hands forward, summoning a dark storm of magic, sending the dwarfs and Snow White staggering back. You will not take this magic for your own, Snow White shouted, standing her ground. Malakar laughed darkly, reaching for a golden apple, but before he could pluck it, a brilliant light burst forth from the trees. The orchard itself was fighting back. The sky erupted with blinding light as the trees unleashed their ancient magic. Vines rose from the ground, wrapping around Malakar's hands, forcing him to drop his staff of dark magic. The guardian, now glowing with the orchard's power, lifted her staff. You have no place here, Malakar. With a final burst of magic, Malakar was engulfed in a shimmering whirlwind, vanishing into the void. The orchard let out a soft sigh of relief, the trees swaying gently. Snow White watched in awe, realizing that the magic of the orchard was alive. It had a will of its own. The guardian turned to her. You have proven your worth, Queen Snow White. She extended her hand, offering a silver pear, its glow soft and inviting. What does it do? Snow White asked. This fruit grants a single vision to see what your heart desires most, the guardian said. But only the purest souls can handle its truth. Snow White hesitated, then gently took the fruit. As soon as she bit into it, a warm sensation filled her chest. The world blurred, and suddenly she saw a vision. The kingdom thriving, her people safe and happy. The land forever protected from darkness. Tears filled her eyes. The kingdom will always be safe, she whispered. When she opened her eyes, the guardian smiled. The orchard has chosen you. It will always guide those with pure hearts. Snow White turned to the dwarfs, who beamed with pride. She had done it. As they left the orchard, the vines began to close behind them, sealing its magic once more. The orchard would remain hidden until another worthy soul came searching. Snow White looked back one last time, feeling the warmth of the orchard's blessing in her heart. The whispers in the wind faded into the night, carrying a single, final message. The kingdom is safe ... because of you.